intestacy, which obviously, removes a lot of stress, a lot of heartache from a lot of people and their families. What are the other benefits that will result from the changes that Will HQ is pushing?
Okay, the primary thing, anytime any solution is deployed to solve a problem, a personal, a family, a kind of a societal problem, the benefits are very obvious. In this case, it is eliminating intestacy. But just to put some rough numbers on that first, approximately 160 to 170,000 people die in Australia every year in a normal year. And fortunately, this country wasn't badly hit by the pandemic, so it'll be the same this year. Roughly, when you actually net it down, about a quarter of those die without a will. That means 40,000 families, loved ones, heirs, survivors, etc., go into the intestacy process. And while that's a clunky word, it is a very simple concept. All of that means that it will take, at an absolute minimum, 12 months for the deceased person's estate to be sorted. And that would be extraordinary. That would mean that it's very simple and that there were no glitches. It regularly takes 2 years, perhaps 3 years for it to get sorted. So if I take an average of 1.5 to 2 years for intestacy to be sorted, it means that somewhere between 60 and 80,000 families and loved ones are going through this process. Now, I have no difficulty or issue whatsoever with lawyers. They provide the only kind of real good service in this area at the moment. But it means that those people in the intestacy process will pay thousands, and in many, many cases, tens of thousands to lawyers. They'll have to go to court. They probably will have to talk to their bank managers about living in their own family home if things were not done properly. The implications are absolutely stupendous. So what's the ultimate benefit? The one thing human beings are always looking for: peace of mind. I don't make a will for myself. I make a will for my wife and my children and my favorite good causes. And hopefully most people at this stage will probably donate some of their organs to medical science, etc. So the purpose is, when you leave this, we can't take it with us. So decide how you want to leave your worldly goods, how you want to actually pass on your legacy to your loved ones and to society in a wider sense. If you want to leave your heart, your brain, well, whatever, to science. Everything helps if you do a will. If you don't do a will, the intestacy process in Australia varies from state to state. And this is where, I have to be a little cautious about my accent, given that it's not local. But in WA, the intestacy process looks after the children more than it does the spouse or partner. Whereas in New South Wales and Victoria, it gives everything to the spouse and partner and makes no provision for the children at the moment. Now, of course, there are details behind this, but it's worth stating that because that makes no sense. Make a will so that your loved ones and your family do not have to go into this lottery process, depending on which state you live in and where your assets and where your children live, etc., etc.